Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how I prep my turkey and how I cook it. I actually learned how to make this recipe like 7 years ago from Food Wishes, so I will link down the video of how I learned how to make it. Super simple. So I have a 15-pound turkey right here, thawed and ready to go. I already chopped up my celery, my onion, and my carrots. I know that in the store they will sell this pre-cut too, so that's pretty easier. But I usually like to do this ahead just to have prep work done. And then over here, this is what I will be adding inside. I will be stuffing this with it. Some aluminum foils for seasoning. I like to use pepper. I like to use some Lorry's. I like to put some cooking spray in the bottom, even though I know I really don't need it, but I just like to use it. Some kitchen twine to tie the legs, and then I make an herb butter. So this is room temperature Kerrygold butter. I will be chopping up some sage and some rosemary and mixing this up with some seasonings. So I will put that together and then I will show you what I do next. Okay, so you can do like a roasting pan. I'm just going with the convenience of a disposable pan. And right here, before I get my turkey nice and cleaned up and ready to go, I just add the celery, the carrots, and the onion here. And this is pretty much like going to be like my roasting rack. Of course, when this is all done and cooked, you can definitely eat those vegetables. They will have all the flavor of the butter and the turkey. But pretty much I just want to show this before I get my turkey ready to go. And I'm just going to open this up and just rinse it out. Before I open this up, because I can't do this with two hands, usually right here you'll see like a clear hanger, so just take that out, toss it. Inside you usually see a neck bone. You can use that to make gravies or other recipes if you want to do that. Some people actually like to eat it too, but I won't be needing it. And then usually on this side over here, on the next side, you'll see a baggie, and it usually comes like with the heart, the liver, or some kind of organ. You can use that to make something like a gravy as well too, or just toss that. So let me get this and I will show you what I do next. So here I have my butter, and I'm going to make my herb butter right now, but I quickly wanted to show you. I just pulled the rosemary off the stem, and I cut some sage right here. And this is how I'm going to make my herb butter. I'm just going to chop this up, mix this up, add a few little bit of seasonings, and then I'll show you what I will do next. So I have my herb butter here, and this is pretty much an 8 ounce of butter with a little bit of seasoning. I use the Lorry seasoning. I use about a teaspoon, and then I use some black pepper. I use about half a teaspoon, and this is just really to your preference. This is just what I'm using. And then in here I have rosemary and sage. I have fresh, but you can also use dry. I've tried it, I've used it before, and it works well. I just prefer the fresh herbs. And then over here I have my turkey. And actually what I did was I seasoned the inside of the turkey with, again, a teaspoon of the Lorry's and then half a teaspoon of the black pepper. Right now what I'm going to do is I like to get under the skin, and what I do is I'll get a spatula, not a knife because I don't want it to cut through, but pretty much make insert the spatula in here just to make an opening, because what I really want to do is I want to get this herb butter underneath the skin, and then I will put it inside there, and then I will massage it all over on top. So I will do that, and then I will show you what it looks like. So I did forget to mention that I have to do this right now before I put my herb butter on top. And then I just put a stem or two of rosemary, a stem or two of sage, and then I put some carrots, some celery, and some onion in the middle of it. And I stuffed the bird with that because I don't put a stuffing inside of it. If you want to do that, then just completely skip this step right here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It has the herb butter on there, and it has it all over. Like I said, I go underneath the skin of the turkey, and with a spatula, with a spoon, just go softly until you open it as much as you can without tearing it. And then I just put a good 2 spoonfuls of that herb butter, and then the rest of the butter I make sure to use it. If I don't want to add it, then I'll toss it, but I actually did go in with the butter today. And I just rubbed it all over, and then on top of that, I just added a little bit, sprinkle more of the Lorry seasoning and a little bit of the pepper. I went ahead and used the kitchen twine to wrap up the legs. I also like to tuck in the wings. I know this pan is probably a little too small for this one, but it'll work. Just so that it just you don't get burnt ends of the wings. You just tuck those two in there. And then also too, this turkey, I'm actually prepping it for the for Thanksgiving, which while I'm filming this is actually tomorrow. And I've done this before where it just saves me time. I prep it before, but you don't really need to do it. It's not that big of a fuss. But tomorrow I actually have to go out for a breakfast with my sister, so that's why I'm just getting ahead of myself. But I will also show you one more thing. So I wanted to show you, I have this other chicken that well, it's actually a turkey. It's a 10-pound turkey that I'm marinating how I usually marinate my chicken. I wanted to give this a try. This is actually the first time I try it, but the chicken comes out so good. So really quick, I use this chicken seasoning, and I use about a tablespoon. I use a tablespoon of this garlic salt, Lori's garlic salt, a good teaspoon, a tablespoon. I really just eyeball it, but I'm just estimating. Black pepper, and then Lori seasoning. I also add 1 lime juice and 2 oranges in here, and then I just put it in a baggie for now, but I will show you in a bit how I cook this. This one is actually just going in the fridge. I'm just covering it with aluminum foil, but I will show you in a bit how I cook these up for Thanksgiving. And I did forget to mention that if you do have herbs like me that are left over, I actually have the sage in the fridge right now. What I would like to do is, instead of having this go to waste, I will chop this all up, take this off the stem and the sage too, make an herb butter again, and then just freeze it, and then use that for like a chicken or a steak or anything you like an herb butter on, and it's actually really good. I've actually done this where I've frozen it, and it's like ready to go for like a Christmas turkey. Okay, so now I'm going to put my turkey in the oven, and what you'll see is that I have aluminum foil just on the breast, and the reason that I have just on the breast is because the breast tends to cook faster, and that's how usually most turkeys get dry. And this will help it to keep nice and juicy. Now the dark meat takes longer to cook, so what I do is this turkey will take about 3.5 to 4 hours. I will check it. For right now, I'll put it in the oven for 3 hours, and I will take a look at it, see how it's doing. But pretty much the last hour, I will remove the foil, and whatever drippings I get from the turkey, then what I will do is just baste it, or if you don't have a baster, you could just get a spoon and just like put it on top of there, and then let it cook for the last hour, and that will brown it up nicely, and I will show you in a bit. So this is going to be ready to go in the oven, and all I'm adding here is the water, and I just want it to get to halfway of the roasting pan. Okay, so I'm probably going to need a little bit more, but pretty much you just want it to get to half of that. So this is going to go in the oven, and I will be back in a bit. Okay, so not necessarily halfway, like a half an inch, 3/4 of the way, and pretty much the herb butter will melt and everything, so you'll get some good drippings there, and that you can use that to make gravy. You can look up videos of how to make gravy if you have your own recipe. That will actually taste really good. So my turkey has been cooking for about 3.5 hours. I think I'm gonna let it go for another 1.5 hours, just depending how longer I'm gonna let it cook. But pretty much the last hour and a half, I let the foil off, and you see how it kept it nice and light. So now it's like pretty much it's time to brown. I'll just toss that to the side. I did take some of the liquid out, and I'm gonna just pour some on top of the breast and everything. It does have a timer, but it's not like popped out yet, but I usually don't use those. One year I actually did want to use it, and it didn't even work. What I do is on the thigh, I'll check if it's with the thermometer, check if it's 165 degrees, I guess that's, or temperature, I'm sorry, I guess it's like the right way, but we'll see how it does, if it needs another 2 hours or an 1.5 hours. So I cooked this at 350, and I'm just gonna add some of this. It looks really flavorful. I'm gonna add some of that on top. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like. It looks pretty cool. Well, I don't know, I think it looks cool. Pretty much that. And then this is going to go in the oven, so we'll see when it's ready. So pretty much this is done. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to plate on this plate. I've actually got this plate many years ago, never used it. It's just the turkey finishes. Really nice and juicy. You can tell all those flavor, all that herb butter. That's my favorite part. And then it browns up nicely. So yeah, if you guys like this video, quick little turkey give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you guys or how you make your turkey, any tips. And then, as always, thanks for watching. If you haven't, please subscribe. Bye, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.